You are listening to the Love and Confidence Podcast, episode number 108. Welcome to the Love and Confidence Podcast. If you're a woman who wants to feel more irresistible, have more fun, and create deeper and more authentic connections, this podcast is for you. I am your host, Certified Life Coach Lærke Nielsen, and I help you become the best and most confident version of yourself so you can attract the love life you desire. Let's get started. Hey you, did you get a good start on 2025? And are you ready to go all in on your dating life here in a couple of days? According to several sources on online dating behavior, including Global Dating Insight, I didn't know that existed, but it does. The first Sunday of the year marks the peak season of online dating, so in a few days from now, and this is called Dating Sunday. So just to give you some numbers, Tinder shares that on their platform, this season lasts from the 1st of January to the 14th of February, and during this month and a half, every minute 519 bios are edited and 2,263 photos are uploaded to Tinder profiles, and that is every single minute in 1.5 months. 11.4 million more messages and 58.7 million more likes are sent during peak season on Tinder compared to the rest of the year. Swipe Sunday or Dating Sunday represents the crescendo of this period, seeing an 18.2% increase in the number of likes and 22% increase in the number of messages sent compared to the rest of the year. So on this Sunday alone, users respond on average 19.4 minutes faster than on any other Sunday of the year. And it doesn't stop with Tinder. Across all the big platforms, this is a tendency. Bumble and Hinge acknowledges that Dating Sunday is a day that is strategically good to create new connections on. Bumble says the following: Dating Sunday is one of the most significant events in the world of online dating, bringing around new opportunities to find your perfect partner. Dating Sunday is known to be the most active day of the year on dating apps, so you might be more likely to find your ideal Bumble connection on that day. And the reasons for that, of course, one of the big reasons is New Year's resolutions. Another thing, apparently, when people go back to their family for Christmas and New Year, they are reminded that they're single and maybe they feel, okay, next year I'm gonna be here with a partner. So if you are planning to find love in 2025 and you were thinking, I'm gonna open a dating profile in the beginning of the year, then maybe now could be a good time to do that. Maybe now is the time to be present on the dating apps just to check out if it's really true. Is it really true that there is so much more activity on Sunday the 5th of January? And so I wanted to give you some keys to finding love in 2025, not just because of Dating Sunday, but because I know a lot of you have this as a New Year's resolution. And I wanted to help you by giving you a reminder of what are the important steps and how to approach it. And I wanted to keep it simple because I think there are so many dating rules out there and it sometimes feels like too much and too overwhelming and no one can remember them anyways. And honestly, I really don't think it has to be that complicated. You only need 5 keys to do this. So here we go. Key number 1. Get yourself out there. And this is of course obvious. You can't sit and wait for love to knock on your door. But what I mean by getting yourself out there is get yourself properly out there. No half-hearted doing things and no hesitating because you need to do something else first. You need to finish something else and you're walking around in small circles. When you tell yourself this, there's a risk that once you have actually done these things, your brain is going to come up with another reason why you are still not ready. Do it before you're ready. Get yourself out there before you are ready. Because you might not ever get to the point where you feel 100% ready. And dating is very much work in progress. You always have to evaluate and adjust your dating, and you also have to sometimes update your profile and change your photos and so on. So it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be 100% ready when you start. Also, I would say don't start off by setting up a free profile in an app where you basically can do nothing without a paid membership. This is also doing it half-heartedly. When you sign up on a dating app, you want to do the paid version because it will allow you to get access to all the functions and to be able to write people when you see them and match with them and see all their photos and not just the first profile photo. And then you also want to write a profile that makes you stand out and choose some good and recent photos. And if you don't have any, then ask a friend to help you take some photos, or you can take some selfies yourself. It doesn't have to be complicated. Again, I want you to see this all as work in progress and experiment. You can always change a few sentences or 1 or 2 photos in your profile. If you want to get some tips on how to create an awesome profile and how to get started with the conversation in the apps, then you can also listen to episode 44 and 45 about online dating on this podcast. And also remember to go out and meet people organically. Decide to go out a couple of times per week. Try new things and go to new places, and make sure you are enjoying it yourself. Challenge yourself to always connect to someone you'd never talked to before, even if they're not dating potential, because this is a great exercise in social skills. And trying to have an interesting conversation with a stranger is going to build your dating skills a lot. So whenever you are out, be approachable, make eye contact with people, smile, and ask them questions, be engaging with them. Here I will guide you to listen to episode 3 about finding the needle in a haystack, because this episode is packed with ideas on how to meet someone organically and the mindset you want to have when you go out there. So this was all key number 1. Get yourself out there and do it before you're ready. Key number 2. Don't let the spark mislead you. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see women make in dating. You miss out on a really good match because there were no sparks on the first date. The spark doesn't signify that it's a good match, and it doesn't mean that it's a good long-term partner you have a date with. It actually says nothing about his relationship skills. And on the other hand, the lack of the spark on the first date, it also doesn't mean that it cannot show up later. It can very well come as you get to know someone better. Now, you do need to feel attracted to your partner, there's no doubt about that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the first date. So if there is something about him that makes you curious to get to know him more, and he's a nice person in general, then continue dating him and see if you feel more attracted after 5 dates. And if you still like him then, but you are just not attracted, then maybe he's just more friend potential. Now, doing 5 dates, it's not about giving the guy a chance. It's about giving yourself a chance to not miss out on a potentially good match. If you want to understand more about attraction and what creates attraction on a conscious and subconscious level, then check out episode 30, The Myth of Love at First Sight. Key number 3. Collect data. Give it time before you decide. Don't evaluate just yet. Observe, be curious, be present. Discover the other person instead of just checking off boxes. Of course, you want to make sure he doesn't have the deal breakers like smoking or doesn't want a serious relationship and so on. You need to find out if you're compatible, but I recommend that you don't show up with a long list of things that you think you want in a partner and then only check if he has them or not. It is much more interesting to get curious about who he really is, instead of to which degree he complies with the list. Again, you risk missing out on someone good, especially if your list is the more typical superficial qualities such as height, what kind of job he has, his style, or what kind of car he drives. Imagine down the line in a long-term relationship with your partner, You go through a lot of different things in life, and sometimes you really need someone who's supportive and understanding, and then you won't care about his height. If you're in a crisis or you lose your job or someone you love, it's completely different kind of qualities that you actually need to look for to find someone who could be a good match on a long-term basis. So look for the true green flags, the qualities that can tell you something about his relationship skills and just in general human skills. Is he a kind person? Does he treat you well? Does he treat others well? Does he call you when he says he will? Does he continue to want to see you? Is he honest? Does he show you interest? Does he show that he cares about you? Do you agree on what is a good life and a good relationship? Make it a project to find out who he is, what his values are, and what he thinks about different things in life, and what he feels passionate about. Be genuinely curious and present. And of course, you want to have some ideas of the kind of partner you are looking for. You want to be intentional, but this would be more in terms of his personality, values, and lifestyle, not the height and not the color of his hair or the brand of his wallet. If you want to master the red and green flags better, then I have an episode for that as well, and that is episode number 80, Red Flags, Green Flags, What is Real? Key number 4. Be yourself and focus on how you feel, not what you think he feels. We tend to get caught up in how we think a man wants a woman to be and how we can be that woman. And we ruminate about what's going on in his head and whether he still likes us, instead of staying home in our own head. At the same time, we abandon our true, authentic self because we want him to like us. It might show up in a very subtle way, where you just catch yourself in trying to adapt to what you think he wants you to be instead of being 100% yourself. Your special superpower that nobody else can copy is being 100% you. Nobody else does that. And I think you have an obligation to yourself and to the world because we want to see you. You have an obligation to be yourself as much as you can. This is how you find a partner that will love and support you and who's not going to want you to change. So come home to yourself, stay true to who you are, and then ask yourself, how does it feel to be me with this person? Do we create something new together? Do I feel that he's bringing out something good in me, and how does our interaction feel? Do my feelings for him grow over time? Can I be myself and feel good with him? So maybe you want to listen to episode 4, Be the Youest You, to hear more about authenticity and why it can actually be quite difficult to just be ourselves. And we're getting to key number 5 now, and this is live your best life while dating. This is the with or without you energy. The idea of making sure that you always live your best life, regardless of whether there's a man in it or not. Making sure that you enjoy life. You don't put things on hold or on pause because you're waiting for a partner to do it with. You go and live your dreams and create the life you want. And of course, have a life purpose that goes beyond a relationship. Something that gives your life meaning and that you feel passionate about. Make sure you are challenging yourself, that you are doing things that grow you and stretch you, and make sure to also have a fun social life. You can actually just ask yourself, what does my best life look like? What do I need to have in my life in order to say that this is a fulfilling and exciting life? And this is a great opportunity to really take ownership of your life, to not be the passenger who waits for someone else to drive you somewhere that you don't even know, or who wants a man to give your life meaning, but to decide that this is on me, and I'm going to find out what brings me joy, what brings me growth, what gives my life meaning, how do I want to challenge myself, and then go and do this. It doesn't necessarily mean that you can just think your way to the best life. You might have to try out different things in order to find your passion, for instance. It's not necessarily found by thinking. Very often, this is found by trying. So I recently published an episode on the with or without you energy, and that was number 101. So you can listen to that if you want to understand the concept more. So these were the 5 keys to finding love in 2025. Get yourself out there and do it before you're ready. Don't let the spark mislead you. Collect data and look for the right green flags. Be yourself and focus on how you feel. And live your best life in the meantime. And also, after you found him, it doesn't stop there. Oh, and I also have a bonus tip, by the way. Hire a dating coach. Dating can be a lonely process if all your friends are coupled up, and you also can struggle to get the good advice from friends who, in many cases, are not able to see why you haven't met the right one yet. Getting support from someone who can see this from the outside and ask you the right questions and lovingly challenge you to be your best and most confident self and not quit on your dream of finding healthy, long-lasting love. That's what it means to have a coach. So if you're ready to explore what that could look like for you, then book a free confidence call on the link in the show notes and let's talk. That was all I had for you today. Don't forget, no matter if you're single or not, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are important in this world. Have a wonderful week. If you like what you're hearing on this podcast and you want to get support from a coach on your love journey, I invite you to book a free consult call with me. You will find the link in the show notes. And also, don't forget to subscribe, and I would love it if you would rate and review this podcast, and then you'll also help other women find it.